Oh, great names. Yeah, well, they've released photographs of a new Alpha. Here it is. Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah. Lovely, lovely. Except it's called the Gloria.
Gloria?
That is Gloria. You're looking at Gloria.
Gloria is not the name of an Italian car. Gloria is the name of a receptionist.
Yeah. Gloria has her glasses on a chain round her neck.
Gloria wears tights. What's it called when tights are really thick? Is that 15 denier or 100? 100, right. Gloria wears 100 denier tights and they rasp when she walks.
We went off topic.
We have gone very off topic. Anyway, listen. Ladies and gentlemen, this morning Richard Hammond was late for work.
Oh, I'm sorry, I know.
I arrived at 8:07, you got there at 8:10, you arrived at 10:47.
Yes.
10 to 11 when you arrived.
And
this
late
was
for school.
good news. Because while we were waiting for you to rock up, James and I were talking about the enormous success we had last week playing car rugby. So I think it was a great success. And we were thinking, are there any other sports that you could play in a car?
Right.
Now, you were so late, we decided to go out onto the track to see if you could play tennis in a car.
Well, you can't.
You can't?
No.
Really?
Yes.
Well, we had a couple of cameramen out there, so let's just find out, shall we? Here we go. This is how we filled our morning.
So, here we go. This is a good one. Whoa! It's a great shot. Yes!
What? It works!
Yeah, no, it does. You can play tennis in cars with a bit of editing.
Little bit of everything. It did work really well, though, and it was really good fun.
Well, I'm sorry I missed it.
Now, moving on. Sometimes it seems like the motor industry is a little bit like the film business. Occasionally you get low-budget indies like the Ariel Atom. Sometimes you get a quirky, offbeat foreign language production. That'd be a Saab. And then occasionally you get a big, huge budget blockbuster, such as this.
Welcome, everyone, to the new Range Rover. And when I say new, I really mean new.
This body shell, for example, still looks pretty much like a Range Rover, but it's been totally redesigned from scratch and made from aluminium. And that saves a whopping 400 kilograms of weight.
And that's just the start of it.
It has a new active suspension system, so it no longer rolls around like a torpedoed frigate when you go around the bends. It has new electric power steering. It has a new, very clever 8-speed gearbox.
Inside, half of the switches and buttons have been ditched to create this more minimalist dashboard. There are also 4 inches of extra legroom in the back, and you no longer have to burn any calories opening the tailgate. On the road, it feels more luxurious than ever.
The ride is really very good. Quite Rolls-Royce-like.
However, all these improvements come at a price, because even the cheapest version, a V6 diesel, costs £71,000. And the supercharged V8 model is almost £100,000. That's Mercedes S-Class money. But then, the Range Rover has long been a Mercedes S-Class rival, and this new one is equally at home on the expensive bits of the Monopoly board.
Thing is, though, previous Range Rovers have always been about a bit more than just poncing around a nice big city. They've always been formidable adventure cars, great off-roaders, pioneers in a way. So what I think we'll do now is we'll drive out of London
and into this place. The Nevada Automotive Test Center in Nevada. This vast 1,200 square mile proving ground is where the original Hummer was developed, making it the perfect place to find out whether Lord Snooty can still get his shoes dirty.
To spice things up a bit, we're going to give the Range Rover some competition. So now, obviously, you're expecting me to introduce a redneck in a massively modified Jeep. But no, we can do better than that, and we have. And here he comes now. Though when I say he, what I really mean is it. Bloody Nora.
Meet the Terramax. It has six-wheel drive, tyres the size of Ferris wheels, the ability to drive almost anywhere, and, as you've just seen, nobody in the driver's seat.
It's an autonomous vehicle. This thing can go on patrol, deliver supplies, and all without any risk of soldiers being blown up by IEDs. Here's basically how it works. Up on the roof, there's a thing called LiDAR, which is 64 separate lasers spinning round and around very quickly and reading the terrain. And the information that comes back is interpreted by the computer on board and decides where it should go and then operates the steering, the brakes, the engine, and so on. What it sees is this. Anything that comes up green is basically no problem. It's vegetation, that sort of thing. Anything that comes up in various shades of red is more of an obstacle. So a big rock, a tree, a wall, a cliff face, all that sort of thing. Look at that. That's really quite amazing.
But the big question is, can it beat a car built by Brummies and driven by me?
What we're going to do is have a race from here to that hilltop over there, a distance of about 10 miles.
Between us and the finish line lay many off-road challenges, including rocky ground, steep slopes, cloying mud, and icy rivers. And there would be no pre-planned route. The Range Rover and I would have to adapt as we went along.
It's man versus machine, quite literally. 3, 2, hang on. So I suppose it's got a mind of its own, isn't it? It's May versus Schwarzenegger.
In truth, the jump start didn't really matter because I was on standard road tyres and this path was so craggy, he was always going to be faster anyway.
Look at the size of the tyres on that thing. Oh, God, he's miles in front. Right, if you're thinking of placing a bet on this at home, here are the odds. Team Terminator with the Terramax, they can go over terrain that I can't manage. And the boffins who built it have programmed satellite maps of the whole area into its brain. So it already has a pretty good idea of where to go. And if they want, they can take control of it remotely, like a drone. Team Top Gear with the Range Rover, you have me, possibly the greatest off-road vehicle in the world, and higher speed.
I also had Land Rover's terrain response system, which allows you to select different settings for the car, depending